So we are live on the internet right now. If anybody wants to share this on Facebook and Twitter and whatever, they are more than welcome to. Otherwise, it will just be a podcast later. Colin, Carl, Nate, and Ryan join you live to discuss that school down the street that we dislike tremendously. So I guess we'll start here. Nate, you went to the press conference today, which it broke where we lost our men's soccer coach of 15 years, George Kiefer, but we'll go back around to that towards the end. But talk about the press conference and the 160 pounds of trophy that were there, and the fact that it's we have players on our football team that don't weigh as much as the trophy does for this game.
Yeah, I was looking at the roster, and
that way.
A couple guys are like 170 pounds, like 10 more pounds than there. And the trophy weighs like a human. So when you walk in, you don't realize how like big it is. Like from the pictures that they released, it didn't seem as big, but the sign makes it freaking huge. And I don't understand how these guys are going to carry it after playing a football game.
Well, they're football players. They can all bench 225. So I think the 170 carry will be too tough.
But the trophy does break apart. There are two halves to the trophy.
Yes, that is true.
So the players will parade around the sign part of it while the base just kind of stays where the hell it is.
There's something pretty awesome about that, of just winning a football game and carrying around a road sign.
Yeah.
I mean, you always want to steal the stop sign off your local neighborhood, and now they did.
They did.
I need one of those for like my room. It's like how college kids always try to steal the road signs. I need like a USF War on I-4 sign.
Those will be popular at some point. That's going to have to happen eventually. You're going to be able to buy a shirt for this trophy. They're going to put it out there. They're going to have to.
It's got to happen.
Got to happen. Anyway, Nate, did anything interesting get said at the press conference, or was it a USF press conference?
It was a USF press conference. I mean, the guys were very locked up. Someone gave Nigel a chance to trash talk, and he was like, "Oh, no, they're good. I'm not," like he avoided the question like the plague, and Rodney did the same thing. He was very measured, I think. I mean, Rodney said he was talking to Marquez Valdes-Scantling and at the SMU trip, saying this is our last road trip, and that's when it kind of hit Rodney that, okay, this is the last home game. And he wasn't visibly emotional, but he was very measured in his words.
Measured, I think, is a good way to describe all of USF's players.
Yes.
Generally, they are a very measured group. They are media cooler down to their whatever. Anyway, so USF's a 10-point favorite. That sounds about right to me. I think our offense will not be necessarily putting up the video game numbers that they have previously. But I think in that range of somewhere between 35 and 49 is probably where they'll end up, just because of possessions. And the reason they're going to get more possessions is because despite our defense not being good, UCF is just trash on offense. They are hot garbage. This new freshman quarterback, McKenzie, doesn't look like he's any good. Frost is –
Not at least.
What?
Not right now, at least. I feel like he has at least potential, though.
Okay. Yeah, but they got nothing to work with over there right now. And so it's weird because, like, last year when we saw that team in that game, the thing that I noticed from the press box more than anything else was how slow UCF was on defense. They were just the slowest team I have ever seen trying to pursue the football. But they were also playing a lot of true freshmen and a lot of kids that weren't really going to play, shouldn't really be playing because of all the injuries they had. Okay,
also
fine.
A real condemnation of George O'Leary. I mean,
sure,
he did
nothing at all, and got halfway through the year, quit, fired, whatever you want to call it. So that team was just trash last year, but the thing that I was surprised is how much progress they made defensively. They're 23rd in S&P on defense, and they can get off the field. They'll struggle with USF's offense. Everybody struggles with USF's offense. But where they really aren't able to do anything is getting stops. If the USF defense can kind of do what they did, last week and just sort of against SMU and get in the way, get a couple of turnovers possibly, force some punts, that should be enough because I think the offense will be able to carry them from there. you might need more than just 2 or 3 punts this time, but you should be able to do that against this offense. So, Ryan, have you begun any preliminary breakdown of how terrible UCF is on offense? Ryan,
Oh, so I missed the name there. I apologize.
you're so
yeah,
bad
they're-
at radio. You're
It's
better
my
at
first
radio,
time. It's
but
my
you're
first
better at
time
radio
being
than
kind.
Carl is at everything else relating to this job. So continue.
I'm a guest today.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Very
they
working boy.
are. I mean, they're probably, save for UConn, the worst offense that they've seen in conference. On the flip side, that's probably the second best defense behind Temple. So, I mean, if you take the Temple game, if I were UCF, that's how I would try to attack us. I would run the ball. I would sit on the ball as much as I could and try to make my drives last 8 minutes. And if they do that, I mean, if anyone does that, they've got a shot against USF because that defense is so bad.
That defense, although I do think some of the issue with the defense has been, I don't know how to put this kindly, motivation. They're going to be motivated on Saturday. 10 wins.
That's
true. They'll show up. You can question whether or not they have the talent to compete consistently at a high level, but they have enough talent to get off the field against UCF and make some plays. And I think they'll play well. This game just means too much to the history of this program. They've never had 10 wins before. There's still a very, very slim chance that you could be also playing for a conference championship, but that's something that's going to be in the kid's head. Players look positively at those types of things. And I think it'll be interesting. Attendance is the other thing that I'm going to be really curious about. UCF has to figure that they're probably going to lose this game. How many people do they bring on a Saturday, which means you're leaving Oviedo at 8 or 9 in the morning on Thanksgiving weekend? Are you going to tailgate? If you're going to tailgate, you got to leave even earlier. How much momentum do they have for a season where they're going to go to a bowl game, but they're not super great by any stretch? They lost by 15 last week. Is there enough momentum carrying them forward where they're going to bring some people here and we're going to have a decent game atmosphere? Carl, our attendance expert.
Well, I do have a couple friends over there that say that they are, in fact, going to show up to this game. From kind of surprises me a little bit, seeing that they really haven't had a great season to their unreasonably lofty standards, shall we say. But I have a feeling that the USF side is going to be pretty good. I heard ticket sales for the USF side have been relatively good so far. I don't have an actual number or anything, but just in passing conversation, apparently it's been pretty good.
Okay.
Though honestly, it's Thanksgiving weekend on a noon Saturday. It's kind of a mixed bag. You might get Florida State, you might get ECU. The students won't be able to complain about the fact that the weather is way too hot because the high is going to be 81, so it's going to be pretty pleasant inside the stadium if you wear shorts.
Carl's Wi-Fi sucks, which is appropriate because so does Carl. But
I blame the apartment that I'm in.
yeah, I think attendance will be interesting. Who is buzzing? Who is that buzzing? Nate?
Not me.
Not me.
Ryan? What?
I said that is me, and I apologize. I'm not doing this podcast.
You're so bad at broadcasting. So,
Who are you?
Who are you? So, I have heard good things about student ticket claims, that the student ticket claims are possibly a little bit ahead of where they thought they might be. So we'll see how many actually show up, how many are just claiming going, maybe I'll drive back, from, Southeast Florida or somewhere in Miami or somewhere else around the state. And maybe they come to the game and maybe they don't. So I just don't know what that's going to look like attendance-wise. I'd love to see at least 30,000 people in the building. That sounds fantastic. And, the problem that we have with people sitting in the clubs should be less of a problem because, like Carl said, it should be a gorgeous day. So we won't have that problem where we've got, 20-some thousand people sitting in the side but on TV it looks terrible because so many of them are in the club watching the game on TV or like looking out the windows. So hopefully it'll look a little bit better on TV. Although it's CBS Sports Network at noon. Who's watching it anyway? Nobody gets the damn channel.
Swear to God, if I get one more game on CBS Sportsnet, oh my God, that's the real reason I want to have the American Athletic Conference.
I'm going to be perfectly honest. The fact that it's on CBS Sports Network works a little bit in the favor of student ticket sales, at least, because they don't get that channel on campus.
That's true.
And there's no stream for that unless you pay way too much money. So if you're a student and you want to watch the game, your best bet is just go to the stadium. And I think a lot of students realize that.
The other place that students might be able to watch the game as well is like at a bar that might be a little bit closer. And apparently that has been a thing where students are actually going to like Peabody's and watching the game there, and then not going to the stadium, which just trash, guys. Trash job by you.
Yeah, but also the students just kind of suck at everything. So
the students are pretty terrible. I had an interesting conversation today at my little tech incubator with a guy who was a fraternity brother of mine and just graduated a couple of years ago. We were talking about attendance and everything like that. And the stories that we hear and the things that we've heard from the university is just a totally different culture. Ryan, you're killing me. What is?
I'm so sorry. It's on my phone.
We just put it on silent. What's wrong with you?
Okay, let me do this. I got it. Don't mind me. I'm just handling my phone over here.
It's more fun to make fun of you about it, though. The attendance thing, I'm interested to see what it'll be. I'm hoping for 30s. That would be really nice. And send this team off with a bang, and because it probably is going to be the last home game before the bowl game. We can also talk about bowl projections right now. I don't see, barring a miracle, and ECU stepping up and doing us a favor after we ran up the score on them at our place earlier this year. Karma's a bitch.
not holding my breath.
I don't. Yeah, I ain't holding my breath either. I don't think Scotty Montgomery's going to be like firing out the veteran, the first string out there, down 17 in the fourth quarter to try and claw his way back in it. We're looking at St. Peter, Birmingham, which are disasters, just absolute disasters. I don't care what anyone says. This bullshit argument that, hey, you're playing Ole Miss in Birmingham, possibly, which is where the projection is right now. Ole Miss is trash. They're in the West. At least they're in the good SEC division. You get any team
at least
from
we're
the
not
East.
watching another game in a baseball stadium.
No,
Okay,
it's worse. No, it's worse. It's at Legion Field, which is worse than any baseball stadium in the country.
Could it be any worse than
literally
Old Chicken
falling
Bowl?
apart. The stadium is falling apart. It's condemned. It's that bad. It's
Worse than the old Citrus Bowl.
Worse than the old Citrus Bowl. Yeah,
That's impressive.
yeah, it's really bad.
I would still rather that than go see another game in a baseball stadium, honestly. As nice as the Beach Bowl was, football games in baseball stadiums, because the sight lines are whack as hell. I'm just not about it. It does not feel right. And also, the Tropicana Field is terrible.
I like
I
the Trop.
would love to take on the 8th best team in the SEC because no one cares about USF Western Kentucky, even though that was a borderline top 25 matchup last year. I love beating Power 5 teams by double digits because you don't get that opportunity to very often because they don't play teams from, and especially not good teams. So any chance that I get to beat up on a 6-6 Boston College by 50 points, give that to me. Give me Vanderbilt, give me Boston College, give me Wake Forest. I want to hang 70 on them.
I just come at this from a completely different angle, and I really don't give a damn what everybody else thinks. I think the SEC East is trash, and I think USF's a 5-3, 6-2 team if they're in the SEC East this year.
Oh, probably even better. The SEC East, they could win the SEC East.
Sure, I wouldn't be afraid to play the Gators this year. Not at all. Their defense is really good, but so is USF's offense. So, okay.
That's true. Yeah. It's like the ranking thing, I, as a non-USF grad, I need constant national gratification for USF at all times. They need to be in the freaking rank top 25, I swear. I'm so angry.
Can I read this tweet quickly by Vincent Jackson that I just pulled up?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
He has a retweet of the college football playoff, the fourth rankings, and all that fun stuff. And he tweeted, "We legit just beat Navy a few weeks ago. Houston got blown out by SMU with 6 days of that. LOL." So I think they're pissed
agree
off.
with him, though. I 100% agree with him.
But then here's the thing. Then rank Temple. Then Temple should be the ranked team.
My criteria here is if you're looking at resume, USF and Navy pretty much have identical resumes, and USF was up 28-0 on Navy in the first quarter.
It was a beating.
Temple has a resume that's a notch worse because they have a bad loss to Army on it. I mean, do I think Temple right now is better than USF? I do. Do I think the resume is? No.
I feel like Temple's resume, even with the notch below, just has better quality. Like they beat us heads up. They beat us by 3 scores heads up. Like that's like what they're supposed to.
I would give more credence to ranking Temple ahead of us than Navy. I mean, because I can understand. We played Temple, and all 3 have similar resumes. We played Temple, they beat us. We played Navy, we beat them. I mean, none of those resumes, like Houston's resume, is good enough that you could ignore the head-to-head to say, okay, they beat Louisville, they beat Oklahoma. But none of the other 3 have any, eye-catching wins outside of the conference. They're all the same kind of quality. Like in that in the AAC poll that Fear the Wave puts out, I've been putting Temple, USF, Navy for a while now because I don't know how you rank that otherwise.
I tend to agree with you. I think I'm more outraged by 6-4 LSU. They're playing in the tougher division. I give them that, and their schedule's been tough. But hanging around with Alabama and not scoring a point. Like, I understand you lost by 10, but you didn't score. That you got to hold some of that against the team, on some level. But and
at least the playoff committee realized that, and LSU is nowhere to be found in those rankings.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we beat LSU because I don't know. LSU's got a good team, But if ranking's supposed to be
Leonard Fournette? That's just a bad matchup because Leonard Fournette would just
true. Oh my God, they literally stopped. They would not stop it once. Oh God, I didn't even think about that. But
one play touchdown,
you're
one
supposed
play
to be ranking
touchdown.
these teams based on resume. If Alabama lost twice in the next 2 weeks, everyone would still think they're the best team in the nation. That doesn't mean you put them number 1 because they've lost twice. And 6-4 LSU does not have the resume to be in the top 25 on any merit whatsoever, even if they are good.
No.
Which I'm not denying the fact that they might be.
Washington State is 8-3. They've played a cupcake schedule, and they have a loss to Eastern Washington. How are they?
Idiotic. I mean, it is so idiotic.
Woo!
They lost their opening game. They lost to a 1AA team, but if they beat Washington this weekend in the Apple Cup, they're going to play for the Pac-12 championship. So they're what do you?
And it depends on the flip.
I'm not even sure how to. How do you not give a Pac-12 division winner a ranking? I get that, but then you also lost to Eastern Washington, and at home. Although it was kind of a home game for both teams. What else? I mean, the ranking thing, I don't know why it doesn't bother me. I don't care. My team's good. I know my team's good. I know my team can beat, would be competitive in the SEC East. We'd get blown out in the SEC West. I'm not going to lie. We'd win 1 or 2 games if we were lucky in that division. That division's loaded. But, I just – in the Big 12, what are we in the Big 12 this year? 6-3? 7-2?
Oh, yeah.
Somewhere in there?
Pretty good.
Definitely. I mean, I totally – you have the rational way of looking at this. I just want the entire college football world at USF's feet saying, you are so good. Let's rank you in the top 10, please.
Okay, but if you wanted to be that, don't give up 478 on the ground to FSU.
That's
Go
true.
on Friday night when the whole world's looking at you and you got a chance to be ranked and your defense gets off the field. Make plays,
No, totally true.
That's the thing. You've had chances, and let's not act like we're just world beating here. Last 2 weeks, I mean, more Memphis than SMU. Margin of error victories here. If they call the PI on the last play of the game at Memphis, you lose in overtime. And it was absolutely PI. Let's not,
Yes.
call a spade a spade here. So you're within the margin of error on the road at Memphis. If you don't get the 4th down stop against SMU, which you did, but that's, a matter of inches, you're within the margin of error on these things here. So let's not act like, Western Michigan Yes, they play crappier teams than we do, but they blow the pants off of them. Like they're beating them by 3 and 4 scores, and that's what you should be doing. If USF wants to get ranked, they should probably be doing the same things, But they don't. They're 9-2. They're an effective 9-2. I can absolutely make a case for ranking them. I can also make a case against ranking them, and I think we were all as fans were just so insecure about it because USF's never been ranked at the end of the season before. Win your next 2 games.
I think
You'll
that's
get
the
it.
big thing.
You'll be 11-2 if you win your last 2.
USF isn't ranked.
Don't worry about it.
I want to say that's the reason the USF isn't ranked is because you can make a good case for the fact that that you can't rank them. Like that's it right there. So you can make a good case for it.
Yeah, I think there's a good case for them, and also I think if you're going to make that case, you got to make the case for Temple. We're all complaining about us. Woe is us. Woe is us. Yeah, and here's the other problem. Next year, this argument gets worse because that out of conference schedule is just trash.
Oh my god, it's horrendous.
It's so bad. You have to.
Please, Illinois be decent.
You're going to have a Western Michigan season next year. You're going to have to roll your conference 8-0, pants San Jose State in opening weekend so people can actually see who you are. Enjoy
Beat
that.
the hell out of Illinois.
Illinois? Okay, Illinois, yeah.
Yeah, you have to lose Lovey's job.
Yeah, you got to get Lovey in trouble. UMass, and then Stony Brook? That game you got to buy out, and if anybody has any kind of availability pop up late, which does happen, that teams have availability that pops up later, scheduling conflict, whatever, blah, 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 blah. It does happen in the offseason before games. USF just has to eat the money, and I don't care what they have to do, but they got to find a way to play a Power 5 game that's not Illinois next season. Nate?
I'm looking at it right now, and it is
Trash.
terrible. It is so bad.
So, yeah, these are problems. And, so you think this is a problem this year? It's going to be even worse next year.
And then you don't even play Memphis or Navy to help boost your conference schedule. So, your hardest game next year is going to be at home, Houston, Temple. And then you have UCF, UConn, ECU, and Tulane on the road. That, oh, my God.
But, hey, Tulane on the road. Woohoo! So that's where we are. Win your last game. Be 10-2. The fates will have not shined upon you 2 years in a row because last year Temple got in because they had the easier schedule. This year they got in because they had you at home and they happened to beat you. But 7-1 is normally going to be plenty to get to a conference championship game, and it's just unlucky.
Should have been enough.
JBL, man, and that happens. What are you going to do? I think you just sort of have to tip your cap and go, that's unfortunate. Team deserves it. They deserve a better fate. They didn't get one.
No, that is totally true. Also, huge tip of the hat. I won't go too off topic, but Matt Rule at Temple, he is. And no one's talking about him for Coach of the Year in the AAC. He has done an amazing job. That team had no right winning 10 games this year.
Agreed. Now they've had a cupcake schedule. Let's give them that. But
yeah,
but they had us at home, and they, whacked us
took
pretty
advantage.
They did. They found the way. So next year it flips. They'll have to play the tougher schedule next year. We'll get the easier.
Oh
one.
yeah, we're gonna hang 70 on them next year. It'll be fun.
Yeah, that'll be a time.
You know what? I'm secretly worried about losing Rodney next year. Who is going to be the wide receiver that can run the jet sweep?
No, that's a great question.
McCants?
No, he's not fast enough. Not even close to being fast enough.
They won't have a burner guy, but you give me MVS and McCants, and I'll find a slot guy who can get out in space and make plays. Those two guys can.
Darnell Solomon?
If we're talking a year ago, we'd say it's Chris Barr, no question.
Right.
Yep.
So I think they'll have enough weapons. They're not going to have a Rodney Adams, and I think USF fans don't appreciate how good Rodney Adams has been this year.
They can't. I don't think they realize just how good. I was looking at his stats. He's one touchdown away from tying Andre Davis for career touchdown receptions. He has 5 career 100-yard receiving games, one behind Andre Davis. He's in reach of Hugh Smith for catches. I think he's 12 catches away. Doesn't seem likely. And I think he's 300 yards shy of Davis's career receiving yards record. So they need to appreciate him and thank him anytime they see him on campus.
Yes.
Well, you know who else you get? You know who else you get back next year? Though is AJ LeGree. So
That's true.
Oh, I totally forgot he exists.
yeah, one more guy coming back next year who could. And AJ in the spring and fall before he got hurt was, one of the best guys they had.
Yeah.
Now he's not a burner type the way that Rodney is, but you can't cover everybody. And you give me McCants, Legree, and Quez. I mean, it's a little bit different because it's in terms of X, Y, and Z. They kind of do some of the same things, and you don't really have that like burner guy the way that Rodney is. But I'll take my chances. Oh, and by the way, you have Marlon and Quentin coming back too. So and your offense gets another year of experience. And
I'd run Dearness.
Nico Wilcox is going to be beast. So.
Wait, what'd you say there, Ryan?
Okay.
I said I'd run Dearness in the slot half the time next year.
Okay. Dearness, who was it who pointed out, and I didn't even realize this, that Dearness is considered a better NFL guy than Marlon? Who put that out there? I saw that somewhere.
I saw that too, and I don't know where.
Yeah.
I mean, bigger, better hand.
But I can sort of see where they're coming from.
I mean, I think they've forced Marlon to be a pass catcher this year. I mean, I saw it in this preseason. He was working hard to get his hands right, and I think early on in the year they really targeted him out wide. I think it was the NIU game. He led the team in receptions. He's done it a few times this year already. I think they're either trying to get him out in space, which is most likely that, but also you want to showcase your best player a little bit to the NFL guys, and I think that's what they're doing.
Unfortunately for Marlon, Quentin will take a lot of pressure off him on the running game, but on a swing pass, the old 5-yard swing route is not Quentin Flowers' best throw either.
That's true.
I'd rather have him throwing a 40-yard post than a 5-yard swing. So it might not. It also might be one of those where a traditional NFL style quarterback might be a better fit for his ability to catch in space and make plays, going forward towards north south.
The big thing on that note about losing Adams that worries me is not who's going to catch the 50-yard fly. It's who's the guy who's going to catch the poorly thrown screen off the ground, turn around, and somehow get 10 yards out of that. Because I know we have guys who are athletic and who can beat guys downfield. We have plenty of guys. We'll probably go 5 deep in that. But I mean, Rodney Adams' ability to turn what might be a 1st and 15 because he just plucked a Quentin Flowers screen off the ground into a first down. Our other receivers have that. I mean, maybe Mack if you split him out wide, but that is a really, really underrated part of
who does his first touchdown against Memphis, where he catches it, spins away, and then just darts down the field. Who's doing that on this roster next year?
Solomon? I trust Solomon right now. I mean, just use
fast enough.
Instead of going around people, he might just have them bounce off of him. But he might be a guy who could be able to make plays like that, from behind the line of scrimmage and then forward. And God, here's the thing about that kid. He's just a baby. That kid's 18 years old, man.
He's going to get better.
It's true.
He's going to get so much better. Yeah. So, and plus playing this year, the always argument, redshirt him or play him, play him. Because next year he'll be a big part of the offense. And,
I was glad to see him get some snaps this year.
For sure.
And yet they still have his reception marked as Dietrich Nichols.
Well,
apparently so what happens is they don't fix the stats until after the season, and then they Google back, and then sometimes they don't upload the new, because I sent in an email with all the double number mistakes from last year and everything, and we fixed it, we just didn't upload it on the website. So today I went to go get a picture of George Kiefer for my George Kiefer article. Transition, broadcasting, and I go and the George Kiefer gallery has one picture, and his bio wasn't updated after the 2014 season. So his NCAA tournament last year and everything that he did in 2015, not in the bio. Everything he did in 2000, not in the bio. And his gallery is one picture, which is the headline picture that you'll see on thedailystampede.com right now discussing that.
I don't understand how you do that to arguably your best program on campus.
Well, welcome to USF. It's even worse for volleyball, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Carl, I mean, I've known George for 15 years now because he was hired. Like, I think him and I got hired like within several months of each other at USF, however many years ago. He's smart, interesting, always really kind guy. And I thought he'd be here for 30 years. And I'm a little surprised that he's leaving. I hadn't talked to him about it. It's not like I talk to him all the time or anything. But I was just a little surprised that he was taking a job like this. I don't know if it's a family thing. I don't know if, like, a lot of times for Olympic sports coaches, we've lost Olympic sport coaches before because, like, the wife gets a good job in another city. You know what I mean? And that coach just wants to go because, quite frankly, they don't make the salaries that you would make in a major sport where, they're not always necessarily the primary breadwinner in a family. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what George's situation is. I haven't had a chance to talk to anybody about it today. But yeah, I mean, USF probably lost top 7 or 8 coaches in the history of the program across all sports today.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure.
Kind of a big deal.
Got this morning when I saw that. Like, I woke up and saw that chat was absolutely blowing up. I was like, there's no way this is true. There's no way in hell this is actually true. I was like, I thought he was going to retire at USF as well. And everyone I've talked to today, no one really has any idea why he's gone. As far as we know, all the assistant coaches are staying. It's just Kiefer that's leaving. So we're just wondering if he just wanted to change the scenery, because he's going to NC State. They're a program that when I looked them up this morning, they went to, I want to say, 13 NCAA appearances. The furthest they got was in 1990 in the Elite 8, I want to say, or the Sweet 16. So they didn't get to the Final Four is the upshot of it. And they went 1-7 in conference this season. Like, you could argue the fact that USF might actually be a better program than NC State is, ignoring the fact that, yeah, they're in the ACC and all that stuff, and the ACC is an excellent, excellent soccer conference. USF still has the better facilities. You can't even make the argument that NC State's going to have the recruiting advantages, because 2 seasons ago, Kiefer pulled the 3rd best class in the nation in soccer at USF.
I've been to NC State's facility. I was up there 3 years ago because I was up there for volleyball, actually, and it's right across the street. Corbett's way better. I mean, I was stunned at how bad the facilities. I don't know if they've updated it since, but I was surprised at how bad the facilities were at NC State, and specifically that one. I didn't think it was that hot.
Does it have a track around it? Then Corbett's better.
Yeah, it's got a moat. So the other thing is that you know why we're losing them? I don't know, but one factor has to be ACC network money. Yeah, they're getting $20-some million or $30-some million a year from that TV network. And that can afford you to double the salary of an Olympic assistant coach. I don't know if they're doubling. I don't know if they're paying them. We'll find out eventually. But it just gives you resources that we don't have. And this is going to be a problem for USF, not just in Olympic sports, but across the board. Like,
yep,
don't have the TV money coming in, man. They paid Jose. They made Jose right, and they gave him a good contract for what he earned for that women's basketball team. For sure.
Honestly, as long as they manage to keep Jose, I guess I'm all right. But, oh, man, that hurt this morning.
But you're going to lose. You're going to lose. And let's say Denise turns it around. She's going to go too, and you're going to – because you can't afford to pay everybody. So they chose to pay Jose, and absolutely they should have. What are you going to do? Like, I mean, not even close. And where Jose took the program from to where it is now is much further distance than what Kiefer inherited. So
but at the same time, you can't say that he didn't turn USF into a nationally recognized powerhouse, because he's made the NCAA tournament
9 times.
9 out of the past 10 years or something like that. He didn't make it in 2014, and we're still not sure why.
All right. So but 9 tournaments, two Elite Eights, 3 conference championships, almost 4 if they'd won a PK, or they'd won either one of the last 2 PK shootouts in the conference tournament final. They would have had another conference championship.
Probably if you'd won any of the 3 penalty shootouts that he lost in the past 3 years, he's in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah. So, but these are the decisions where USF is right now that they're going to have to make, and until the revenue gets better. And so, Mike Oresco, my man, it's all about this because we're losing coaches now. That's bad. We're going to lose football coaches. Somebody comes calling for if FSU if Jimbo goes to LSU and FSU comes calling for Willie,
Bye.
Thank you very much. You changed culture. You improved recruiting. You showed that you can win here.
Yep.
Thank you.
One more thought on George Keefe, though.
How good is the USF? Oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh well, just one more thought on Kiefer quickly. Like, you can't say this. He left on bad terms at all, and I think everyone here is going to wish him the best of luck at NC State. He's going to have that program in the NCAA tournament next year. He's a damn good coach. Excellent. But you have to hope that the next hire for USF is going to be knocked straight out of the park because they have the facilities, they have the culture of winning. Just got to keep it going.
I mean,
That's right along the lines.
Go ahead, Ryan.
I was just, how good do we think this job is independently of Kiefer?
It's a good job. I think it's better. I mean, I agree with Carl. I think it's a better job than NC State just because there is a base there that is solid, that they have tickets, and those alumni, some of which who have done very well for themselves financially, come back and give to that program. You'll see guys from the teams in the 60s and 70s in the stands. When I worked in development, I met with those guys. They care about the program. They're invested. There is a definitely a better level of support for that particular program than for any other Olympic sport. And you got a great facility, and you have access to the IMG kids too. So
yeah,
it's a lot. I think it's a very good college soccer job. Yes, it's probably a top 25 soccer job for sure.
Now, there's going to be some very good coaches that are going to come calling for this year's job. I have no doubts about that.
Yeah, for sure. They'll get a lot of good offers. People will want this job, whether they'll want to work for what USF is willing to pay, whether they'll get the recruiting budget that they want. That'll be a different story. But yeah, it's a good soccer job. What else are we talking about? What have I missed?
State. Men's basketball is down 4 at halftime versus AU.
We have a men's basketball team? When did they start playing?
I don't know. It's weird. So I'm just gonna.
Are you on the theoretical sports site?
Yeah.
I'm going to go on record with being very impressed with how they played so far to my expectations.
The fact that they're 2-1?
Yeah, to the expectations.
Yeah, I mean, my expectations were very, 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 very low, and I haven't checked what Ryder has. It can't be anything that good, but they avoided losing to 2 bottom 100 teams, and Elon certainly isn't good, but they were in the ballpark, and no one wants to hear, they were in the ballpark against Elon, but given what they have on the roster, and given that I expected this to be like a bottom, like a 250th best team, maybe they'll be a little bit better than we thought they would be.
That's
if they're a 250 best team, it's just because of that schedule, because you get an AAC schedule instead of an ASUN schedule. There.
Ruben Guerrero has 2 points, only 1 of 2 shooting. He has 2 fouls.
I love you, Ruben, but my God.
He has, let's see how long he's played.
You realize your team finished dead last in the country last year in 3-pointers, right? Dead last.
He has 0 rebounds. Big for nothing.
Yeah. So
Fitz has 3 fouls. So, and then some guy on FAU's bench.
Sorry, I'm watching the Northwestern Notre Dame game, and Notre Dame basically just clinched it.
Jardarius Troutman is 4 for 5 from 3 and has 14 points at halftime.
So the spread on the Elon USF game was Elon by 4.5 at the Sun Dome, but FAU must not be as good because FAU is getting that same 4.5 points, but they're at home. We're giving 4.5 to FAU. When we beat FAM, we beat FAM. FAM was picked to finish dead last in the worst conference in college basketball. The MEAC. Okay. Dead last worst conference. And they're picked to finish dead last in it.
And getting out rebounded.
I can't
25-19.
I didn't see the game. They're
Well,
this team's trash, man. And
at least
until
the girls are hanging out in the Bahamas.
and what I want to see is how good Manderson and McMurray make them. Can Manderson and McMurray like fix some of this? Like, but until they get those guys in here, like, I mean, what are you watching? Like, this is crap basketball. I don't see any way that this team can succeed with the players that they currently have.
So I'm just because going into this season, I was already like, okay, this team like literally may not win a game.
Mm-hmm.
On the positive side, like there have been some pieces that have been pleasant. De Silva can play.
Mm-hmm.
Thorpe, jury's kind of out, but he can shoot. He likes to do that.
So Guerrero only played 6 minutes in the first half tonight.
Like two.
Ryan? Oh, those dreamy eyes staring back at us on our little screen here, but apparently he's gone. Ryan, come back. Come back from
I'm talking.
Oh,
Am I not?
yeah. Now you are. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was just asking who played 6 minutes. I was responding.
Ruben.
Oh, foul trouble?
Yeah, I mean, 2 fouls in the first half.
Oh, lovely.
Fitz
But yeah,
has
so I
3.
mean,
Okay,
if you approach,
can I interject with something completely not USF related quickly?
No. So Ryan, go ahead.
But, okay, this is gonna get a great laugh. Montreal is delayed 30 minutes because they didn't paint the 18 correctly. They are currently actually repainting the box right now.
Colin is about to have
The
a field
MLS
day
is
with this.
trash.
You just gave Colin like his happiest news of the day.
This is hysterical. Turn on ESPN right now.
American soccer made in Canada.
Oh my god.
Let's just take 2 countries and put them together and have one league. Because why not? It's all the same. It's all the same. Like, national teams have nothing to do with soccer, so let's just have a league and have 2 teams like from 2 countries in it. It's fine. No big deal.
Colin, I will make you a Union fan if it's the last thing I do.
Well, you're gonna make me an MLS fan?
I will make you a Union fan. I don't care about MLS, but I do love the Philadelphia Union.
Okay, well, dupe you and give me some pro rel and some non-salary cap and some real player development. And all right, I'll get there. But until then, I just boycott the league. I think the league's trash. I think it's.
I can get behind Andre Blake.
It's like built on.
Andre Blake is so good. Oh my god, they're losing him though for sure, but that's a good thing because money. But anyway, okay, steering off of MLS talk because I don't want to go too.
We're
far
gonna
down
bore
that rabbit
everyone.
hole.
Sorry.
Good.
Ryan's gone again.
Ryan, did we lose you again? Ryan.
No, I'm here. I was just steering off of MLS talk.
Okay, go.
Go for it.
Go talk.
So, okay, going back to the
Reason.
first thing we were
Okay.
here for. UCF, what do you guys think? How much do we win by? Do we beat them by 4 touchdowns?
Yes.
No. USF 45, Knights 34.
I like something like that, maybe like minus 10 points on both sides. Like I think it'll be kind of a lower scoring game, kind of like what we saw with SMU. But I think that's around where I would have it too.
Okay.
You got 35 points.
64-12. I'm calling it.
Paint the walls. That'd be nice. 44-3 wouldn't be bad either.
Raymond James in their blood.
Taggart goes on a mission, burns Chris Oladukin's red shirt just so he can throw a touchdown.
I think we need to devote like a solid minute to just talking about Jim Leavitt having, and correct me if I have the wrong name here, but Anthony Severino throw a touchdown pass on 4th down
Yep.
up, what was it then? 45 points in the fourth quarter.
Oh, is that Colorado?
No, this was the 2007 game.
I mean,
Wow.
that is just unheard of levels of spite. I mean, your third string quarterback going for it on fourth down, up 45.
By the way, let me tell you something. If Willie can go play action on fourth down, up 4 touchdowns in this game with like under 2 minutes left,
100% doing it.
bet your ass doing it. Lock it
I'm all
up.
for it.
They will run a double reverse. They will pull out a gadget play. Like they'll burn a gadget play. I don't care. They
The
don't care.
famous double reverse flea flicker.
Yeah, let's get to Jonas Johnson.
And I will absolutely lose my goddamn mind.
Yeah, they'll do it. By the way, Durnest, I think they've sniffed out the Durnest thing now. Like the Durnest thing isn't working so good anymore. I think it's been scouted. We might not be able to do the Durnest. His passer rating has dropped precipitously since he was 3 for 3 with 3 touchdowns.
So every Thursday after the walkthrough, the wide receivers get together and they try to throw a football and hit the crossbar of the uprights every single week. They try. And Taggart last week, the wide receivers were walking off. They weren't going to do it. And Taggart's like, "Get back there and do it." And like you've done it every week. You're doing it now. And honestly, I think it's just to see who has a good arm to throw the gadget play. And Rodney's okay.
I wouldn't be shocked.
MVS is all right, but the wide receivers can't throw. That for sure, they cannot throw.
Fire the
So
offense.
it's going to have to be a running back.
Hashtag fire Taggart.
Yeah. God, you know what? It's pretty bad when you can't even recruit a wide receiver with the ability to stop on a dime on a reverse and throw the ball. It's just such bad recruiting. It's a terrible job by USF. It's really it's
Honestly.
awful.
Okay,
Okay,
so
you know
looking
what
back
I
at
really want to see
2007,
for a gadget play?
Grant
what I really want to see
Durant
for a gadget
four
play-
sticks.
And Q goes out wide.
Who?
See
Oh,
Brett
Q.
Keane come in under center, and then Q goes out wide.
Do you want 5'9" Q running anywhere in a place where he can get hit even more than?
Yeah,
he
I just want to
does?
protect him in a bubble.
Like
as
you
much
do
as
that with
possible.
you do that with bigger quarterbacks. You do that with quarterbacks that have some size that can protect themselves. But like, man, like if Q ever did catch the ball and like a safety came over the middle, he'd get fucking destroyed. I don't know if he's big enough to. He takes enough hits already. I don't know if I necessarily want Q outside the numbers, running around.
Yeah,
Alright,
I
so
mean, to be fair, he probably
I'll bring
wouldn't
up a
ever get the
hypothetical
ball,
speedy.
but you have him out there just as a distraction. The defense would be like, what the bloody hell is going on out here? Why is he there?
Speaking of bad observations by Carl, so last night at the women's basketball game, we have one rule for press conferences here at thedailystampede.com.
I'm just going to drink the entire time.
There are 3 terms you are not allowed to use in a press conference when asking a question. And those terms are mentality, mindset, and talk about. You're not allowed to ask a talk about question. You're not allowed to say, what's your mentality? Or like coming off a big win, what's your mindset going into the next game? You know why? Because those are bullshit questions. Those are easy, hacky, terrible journalistic questions. So Carl, at his first press conference at women's basketball, because remember, Carl, he'll go out there and cover soccer,
Second.
like televised press conference for women's soccer. It's just like a stand-up scrum after the game with the coach and a player. So you can't humiliate yourself too badly in that format. But you can when it's like actually on Bulls Vision and he gets up and asks Ari Pujol, who had a fantastic game, 21 points, just out of nowhere. And USF needed it because they only won by 10 or 12 last night. So Ari, her big moment, seriously, best game of her career. She's a senior. She doesn't play a lot. She led the team with 21, was 8 of 13 from the floor, 6 boards, 4 dimes, huge game. Okay, so Carl, can you go ahead and repeat your first question as a member of the media?
I'm just going to sit here and drink.
What's your mentality was it going to the Bahamas? Was that it? What's your mentality going to the Bahamas? Was that your question there, Carl?
Damn it, I finished it.
I mean, come on, man. We're supposed to be the smart ones, the analytical ones, the ones who don't ask these godforsaken questions. in Carl's first press conference, like first one for basketball, drops the whole damn thing. So like as he's asking the question, I'm in our Slack channel like yelling at it for like, why the hell did you guys? This is terrible. Yeah, real quick, women's basketball 2-0. They're different. They're gonna need to find a way to make some more shots than they're making right now, but they're playing teams that they can comfortably beat. They left for the Bahamas at 3:30 this morning. So I wish I was with them. They're playing in Bimini. The tournament got moved. It was originally in Nassau. But because of the hurricane damage there, they moved it to Bimini. So it's actually closer to Florida than they were before. But they're going to play 3 games. They're going to play North Carolina on tomorrow? Tomorrow the next day. Either Thanksgiving or tomorrow they play North Carolina. Big game. 3 good opponents down there that they're going to play. I think Missouri is one and Georgia is the other, I want to say. But a big test for them. They're going to need to find a way to make some shots. Defensively, they're pretty good. They only had they're playing Jacksonville last night. And Jacksonville's athletic and they can get back, but like USF only had 3 fast break points last night. That ain't going to cut it in this offense. They're going to need to find a way to get some easier baskets if they're going to be successful. But it's a different team. They share the ball a little bit better. They should shoot it a little bit better, though they haven't yet shown that. And they should play defense. It's a little easier to play defense because they can switch a little bit more than they could before. Like anybody.
I don't think Losta is going to have quite as good of a season she had last year. Honestly, out there, I'm not sure she looks like she's quite ready to take on the role of the star player. Like she had Courtney Williams and Alicia Jenkins flanking her last year, so you could overlook her and she could have a on you. But this year, she is that player, and I'm not entirely sure she's quite ready to fill that role yet. She's not. She's really just not. She doesn't look as smooth as she did last year. And I'm wondering if you might want to use that to your advantage, use her as a little bit of a decoy to give the other players a chance to have big games like Pujol did yesterday and like Jesperson had on the first game of the year.
Literally, that's exactly what they're doing right now because other teams are just their first option locks is the first thing they want to stop because she can quickly shoot threes and, she's a catch and shoot player and she also has the ability to put the ball on the floor. So that is literally what every USF is trying to do right now. So I think they're probably gonna have to stick with that for now. Is like JU did a pretty good job on Kitty last night. They were hedging towards her, not just on the catch, but like even when she wasn't being catched, she was getting chased a little bit tighter than everybody else. I think that's probably gonna keep happening. So they'll be okay though. I'm not worried yet. I want to see how they do against better competition. It's really hard to tell how good you are against UNF and JU. But we'll see. They're definitely the more entertaining basketball team. That's all I can tell you. Speaking of,
They're the only
update on it's the only basketball team. The only non-intramural basketball team at USF.
I mean, theoretically, if we had a men's team that was playing FAU, they'd be losing 46-43. But
oh, you're ahead of me. I got 42-40. Look at that.
You guys have quite the imagination.
Yeah.
oh, hey, look, they're finally painting the field at Montreal.
Amazing how that works. All right, we've done this for an hour. We're annoying now. Last thing, I made my predictions. Everybody else might hear. What?
We seem to have lost Ryan as well.
No, I'm still here. You guys
Still
keep
here.
thinking you've lost me, but I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, your Wi-Fi stinks.
I'm sorry, yeah.
Everybody else make their prediction for the game?
You know mine.
Yes.
64-20. Okay. All right, let's see. My bigger prediction is 30,000 fans at Ray J, all in the lower bowl, making it an actual real game atmosphere. And I also predict Temple will beat ECU. Sorry, I couldn't do it. I tried. I tried. Last time USF needed ECU to win a game in the last game of the year to get somewhere was to go to the Hawaii Bowl in 2002. And ECU failed us then. They're going to fail us on Saturday again, which sucks because this team deserves better. But you're going to be 10-2, and you're going to a bowl game, and you're going to be ranked at the end of the year because no matter who you get in the bowl, you're going to beat them.
My eyes are flashing right now. I need it. I need
My
that ranking.
only other prediction is that Quentin Flowers gets 300 yards and only 125 of those are through the air.
Ooh, so you think – I agree. I mean, to beat UCF, yeah, that's the way to do it. Although they're going to dare Quentin to throw. They're going to dare Quentin to roll out and throw the ball, but I don't know if they have the ability to do
Yeah, that's why I say only 125 through the air, but he's going to have 300 yards by himself, at least.
So,
I'm
Quentin.
predicting no slash tires this time.
This Quentin for Heisman thing, like, all right, look, dude, I love the kid. He's an amazing football player.
Not happening.
Really good. There's 5 players better than him in the country.
Yeah, but let's pump it for all it's worth. It's not often that USF gets a guy on the fringe of All-America candidacy.
Heisman watch for real.
I know, but like, there's some lack of intellectual credibility when you're saying things like he's like. Then they're printing out stats that are saying he's better than Lamar Jackson. He's really good. Lamar Jackson, like, he's better. You know,
No,
and
there's
Lamar Jackson has
no
no
argument.
offensive line. Let's also point that out. Lamar Jackson's offensive line is trash. So,
Yeah.
There's no argument you can make for Flowers ahead of Lamar Jackson. I mean, that is for sure. But I mean, he has been so much better than any of us. I think. I don't know if anyone was thinking that he was going to be like this amazing this year, but I certainly was not, and I'm so surprised and happy.
we got one more year of him, and good Lord willing, they'll find a way to get some games that he can play against teams that he shouldn't smash. God, we're already. If we don't go 12-0 next year against this schedule, I'm going to be destroyed and devastated.
It's got to be 11-1 at the very least.
At worst, we're 11-1 next
Yeah.
year. And that's assuming
All
this.
right, what do you think? What do you think of the chances that Quentin Flowers actually does get a couple Heisman votes?
Possible, because you get to vote 3. There's 3 votes: 5 points for first, 3 for second, 1 for third. He could get some third place votes. Some people might throw him in there. Sure, there's 700 and some voters. Could totally happen.
Fair enough.
Okay. All right, we're done an hour. Anything else for anybody, or are we done?
Injury update. Nadelman. Yeah. Taggart said today he couldn't remember if he kicked today or not, which
I'm kidding. God damn it!
We need a
Which was
Finding
hilarious.
Dory trailer with Willie Taggart.
When Willie gets his next P5 job, they're going to call us and say, so what's he like to cover? And I'm just going to say, these are the stories that we're going to tell people. I don't remember if my kicker who's been injured is kicking in practice today.
So, I mean, I put on Twitter 2 weeks ago, I highly doubt he kicks again this year, and I will stand by that. I will die on that sword.
Okay.
I've been pretty spot on with injuries this year. I'm calling it. Unless it's a later bowl game, like late December, not a chance he's playing again.
So
Birmingham
Emilio
this
finishes
year.
perfect for the year.
Yeah.
Birmingham's in January,
Yeah.
remember? It's first week in January.
So,
Which coaches love because
That's the other thing about the Birmingham Bowl I would like to see is the fact it's in January.
it's
I
just
remember playing NCAA football. You get points for a January bowl game, so count it.
it's one way of looking at it. But we're going to roll on this. Okay, we're done. Go Bulls.
Go Bulls.
Go Bulls.